Hey guys, okay, so welcome to the next episode of the AN Education podcast. And Nathan and I were speaking last week about a topic that hopefully will potentially hit a few nerves. So not hopefully hit nerves, but it may hit a few nerves, but hopefully make you realize that the way you're doing things could potentially be done in a different approach. Because me and Nathan believe that there's two types of coaches at this moment in time, and there should only really be one type, and that's a type that can flick in between both of them. So you've got either the really, really strict coach, like the Sergeant Major, or the softer coach who's a little bit harsh, who's a little bit worried to potentially push the clients as hard as what they may need to be pushed for them to get to the goal.
Yeah, I think like when we say this and we say you're either one or the other, we probably mean you're either more one or the other.
Yeah.
You have an element of both in you. Everyone does, yeah. But the good coaches or the fantastic coaches, should we say, are the ones who know when to deploy what part of the coach, or what side of the coin, should we say, or what type of coach within the check-in based around where the client's currently at, what the goal is, all the type of stuff. So, like, if we just kind of talk through both coaches, so you kind of know what what we mean by a strict coach and a softer coach, and you can maybe differentiate on like, right, I'm more softer or I'm more stricter. So then you can maybe know what you need to work on, right? Because we'll give you a couple points to work on either coach. Yeah. So if we think about the softer coach, we'll go through the softer coach at a minute. Like this is the coach who, like Ali said, is scared to push someone, and maybe it's because you've never pushed yourself before. Maybe, maybe it's because you've never got lean before. If you get clients leaner, maybe it's because you've never built a serious amount of muscle mass or you've never been in that phase long enough. Maybe it's an element of just you're inexperienced in them phases, right? Which makes you a bit softer because you don't have the authority, maybe not the confidence, which makes you a bit of a softer coach. And when we say soft, it's nothing like don't take offense. It's not that you're a bad coach, it's that you could maybe do with being a bit stricter in parts. And what I think with this type of coach as well is it's the scared to like hurt the client's feelings almost. Yeah, like I feel like they're scared to lose the client, they're scared to hurt the feelings, they're scared to hold them accountable, fully accountable. But what I will say is that, and I say this to a lot of our different coaches who are on our mentorship, that your client is paying you for a result, for an outcome, not for you to stand on eggshells around them and tiptoe around them and tell them what they want to hear. Sometimes it's you've got to be the person who tells them what really they don't want to hear. And that's just the reality of coaching. Yeah.
I think when it comes to a softer coach as well, one of the positives that you have as an individual, if you are someone who relates to that, is you're very, very in tune with like emotions and you are very, very empathetic and sympathetic to client situations. So you don't just ignore what the client says and says, well, you need to do this. But at the same time, as Nathan said, sometimes you have to tell clients the harsh truth and the harsh reality because our job isn't black and white, but the fundamentals are black and white in regards to what they need to do to be able to get to the goal that they want to be able to achieve. And if you're someone who always doesn't think your client's lies or is afraid to potentially call your clients out or question your clients' decisions when it comes to food, like for example, if they're trying to get ready for a photo shoot, but they keep going out every weekend for a meal, so they're not going to be as lean, and you're afraid to potentially say, well, look, you can't do that if you want to get in the best shape you can, that client's never going to be fully satisfied with the results. And they'll probably appreciate you actually telling them how it is because at the end of the day, we are the working professionals. We are the ones who understand. I think I said this to Chris Knott when I was working with him. One of the hardest things as a coach is to stop assuming that your client knows everything. So when we've been working with macros for so long, when we've been working with calorie deficits, surpluses, how to train, so on so th so and so on, so and so on. Sorry, like it's very, very easy to assume that your clients understands what macros are. It's very easy to assume they understand how important sleep is, what a calorie deficit actually is, and we've got to make sure we're not doing that. Especially if you're a softer coach, you trust your clients a little bit more than what you may should. Like you may assume a little bit too much that the client is training hard, the client is pushing himself in the gym, the client is eating all the meals or not or not going off plan and so on and so forth. So with softer coaches, or just more emotional. in tuned or more emotional coaches, it is that thing of when you want to get someone a result and they're going to have to go to places that are uncomfortable, it is going to be very, very difficult for them. Like they are going to feel tired, they are going to feel sore, they are going to feel challenged from all aspects mentally and physically. And that's okay. Like at the end of the day, if someone's trying to, even if someone's going from say £300 to £200, which, and they still might need to lose a little bit of weight from £200, like even though they're still going to be eating a lot of food, that's going to be a big psychological shift for them. It's going to be a big reality shift in regards to they've lost £100, which is a small human, and it's going to be hard for them. Like there's going to be times when they want to go off plan. There's going to be times when they don't want to go to the gym. They still may be a little bit self-conscious, all these things. So even though it's not as an extreme result in regards to they're not getting as extreme low body fat where they're going to feel fatigued, they feel fatigued because of other reasons. And again, as a softer coach, you've got to make sure you can push them through that because it's for their health. At the end of the day, you're doing it for their health because walking around at £300 is not healthy for anybody. So again, you're being harsh to be kind for them, and they'll thank you later on in life.
Yeah, I think that's a good point that you make, man. We always make that point to our coaches who are on the mentorship that you've got to be cruel to be kind sometimes, and you've got to you've got to change your own perception. Like you're doing this for your client so they get better, get healthier, get fitter, look better, whatever, right? You're not doing it because you don't like them, are you? Think of it like that. Like you're not telling them what you're telling them because you don't like them and you don't want them to succeed. You're telling it on because you want them to succeed and you as their coach want to get them to where they want to get to. Always think about that when you're saying something to a client or you feel like you don't want to say something. Like you feel like you shouldn't be saying something because more often than not, if you feel like you shouldn't be saying something, if you're one of these coaches, you probably should. And you probably should say what you're thinking you need to say. Yeah, you're probably just not confident enough in maybe delivering it because there is different ways we can articulate and deliver these things. Yeah, because as a softer coach, some softer coaches think, well, I just want to tell them that they're not sticking to the calories, but I don't know how to say that, right? So I'd articulate it in this way. So I would say, let's say the client's name's John, right? I would say, John, thank you for your check-in, whatever, all that type of stuff. And then I'd be like, based around the calories that you're telling me that you're consuming, John, but the calories that you're burning, so all the expenditure that you're doing, your steps, your cardio, etc., you should be dropping body fat with this. Because if you're at, let's just say 2,000 calories is a meal, 2,000 calories every day, and you're doing 10,000 steps and two 30-minute cardios and four weight sessions, I know for a fact that you should be dropping weight, right? So maybe it's that you don't understand, which is fine, where calories are coming from because it could be coming from hidden calories. And hidden calories are in X, Y, and Z. You all know that. Or it could be that you feel like you don't want to tell me that you may be overeating because you may feel like I'm going to judge you. But I just want to make this a safe space where you realize that I'm not going to judge you because I'm on the same page as you, John, and I want you to win no matter what you say. Yeah, or what you think, should I say. Yeah, because if you can kind of the way that I've articulated that is in a kind, understanding way where John wouldn't feel like I'm attacking him. Yeah. If you literally go in and attack someone and go, John, you've definitely not stuck to your calories this week. I know for a fact because if you stuck to them calories, you'd fucking lose weight. Yeah. Some people might actually like that approach, right? What I've just done. But you need to know the client and understand the client in order to deliver that approach. Yeah. That probably comes later down the line when you've coached that client for maybe 2 years. You can maybe start being like that with them because they know. I would never ever be like that anyway with a client. I articulate things in different ways. But that's how you can get across that maybe a client isn't sticking to the food or whatever. If you're a bit of even a softer or restricted coach, you don't have to like go fully in and attack someone. Yeah, you just want to actually help them understand that you know that they're not sticking to it, and you want to help them realize that they're not sticking to it as well.
And it can be simple things like maybe they're putting too much veg on the plate. It could be the fact that like they're adding more milk to the coffee. This is what Nathan means in regards to like hidden calories. I said we can't just assume that people know everything when it comes to this. But in regards to like softer coaches, as we were speaking about before, there are a lot of positives to it as well. And the stricter coach will not have the positives that a softer coach will have. And a stricter coach is going to be a lot more sergeant major, a lot more dictatorship, my way or the highway kind of attitude. And for some people, like if we're going to go from like, let's say bodybuilders, maybe even like maybe even photo shoot prep, this might work quite well. It might work very well for them kind of people because they're going to be of a certain ilk anyway. Like I work well off that. If I'm being perfectly honest, like just tell me what to do. I don't want to think. Um, Tell me how high to jump, essentially. Um, it's like I don't even think that's the same thing. It's tell me to jump and I'll just say how high. I think that's what saying. But anyway, it's like certain people will get on with that, but at the same time, there's got to get to a point where like not everyone's a robot. Like even robots have feelings. Like robots go through shit times. So even when you've got like a robot who will just do everything, like for example, like Nathan coaches me with and helps me a lot with my nutrition, etc. And it's like Nathan knows he'll just tell me what to do. But if I'm going through a bad time and I've not stuck to my diet or my digestion's off, Nathan will ask me how I am as like a person, not necessarily just like what foods am I eating, so on and so forth. So there has to be a balance of it both. But normally stricter coaches, as I said, they'll be more dictating. They probably will get better results from a fat loss and a muscle gain perspective due to the fact of they will tell the clients exactly how it is, and the client's either going to respond or say fuck off. But more of the time, it's like they're going to respond because the type of client that they'll be attracting will be the type of client to be a little bit more robotic. But at the same time, I said it's not going to work for everybody. It's like certain coaching models where it's very, very low calorie, over cardio, over too much cardio, too much training, so on and so forth. It'll work for 60% of people. 20% of people won't respond at all, and 20% of people will fucking just be in the bin, like horrendously in bad position. So it's like if you throw shit at wall, some will stick kind of thing. So that's why again, when me and Nathan are talking about these coaching modalities, and it's like you've got the stricter ones who will get better results, but they haven't got that potentially emotional. They're not appreciating the emotional responsibilities that they have with the clients to understand the situation they're in. That they actually could get better results with a lot more people if they were just a little bit more open-minded.
Yeah, and I think it's one of them, mate, where the stricter coach doesn't take into consideration people's lifestyles. So, like, the stricter coach will go, I just don't know why they're not sticking to
Yeah,
it.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah. I don't know why. Why can they not stick to it when something's gone wrong at work, whatever? That's where the stricter coach needs to work on. The ability to empathize and try and put themselves in the client's shoes and realize that not everybody's like them. Yeah, and that's the big disconnect that these coaches have that I've found anyway. Yeah, that they need to work on their ability to put themselves in the client's shoes and be more empathetic and take the foot off the coaching gas, should we say, for a week. Yeah, and try and understand the client. Remember, clients need to be understood. Everyone does, not even clients. Everyone in the world wants to be understood. If somebody's not understood, then they'll do that to you. And I'm giving
Yeah.
uh, the camera the fingers now for people who are listening. But they will literally tell you to F off. Yeah. So you need to help. You need to learn to understand your client and their situation. Because when someone feels understood, they will buy in. They will. But
Yeah,
if they're not understood, they won't.
it's like people just want to be heard. So if you completely disregard people's situations, like look, like I'm gonna like talk about coaching here. Like coaches live in a fantasy world. Like we don't understand reality. Like for example, like me and Nathan are speaking from opposite ends of, well, not opposite ends, well, completely different parts of the world right now on Zoom, talking to other coaches via Wi-Fi. Like as long as me and Nathan have got Wi-Fi, we can do our job no matter what. There are less excuses for me and Nathan for us not to stick to our plans, not for us to be able to do what we need to do in regards to for us to achieve our goals. But if me and Nathan worked a 9 to 5 and we had 2 kids, it'll be a completely different scenario about how we'll do these Zoom calls. It wouldn't be at maybe 10 o'clock in the UK, whatever time it is with Nathan is now at this moment in time, being able just to jump on and just chat and just do a podcast. It might be very specific times when the kids have gone to bed or when my food's all prepped for work the following day, whatever it may be. So as coaches who are stricter, we need to understand that yes, the goal is important and yes, the actions need to align with the goal that they want to achieve. But you may need to think outside the box of how they're going to achieve it because coaches might because normal people can't eat 6 times a day because they don't have 3 or 4 breaks in work where they can just whack out some Tupperware and just go and put it in the microwave and eat food. They have to eat at potentially maybe lunchtime and they might get another break in the middle of the day at some point, potentially. Like if they're a nurse, it's good luck with that. Like nurses are 24/7 on their feet. It's like their ability just to get water in is very poor because they can't afford to need the toilet. So all these situations that coaches just can't relate to because, or struggle to relate to because we sit at a desk with a laptop, or if you're a one-to-one coach, you're just on the gym floor speaking to people. So your gym is there in front of you. You don't have to travel to the gym. You've got your work in your little six-pack bag, your food toy in your six-pack bag, and you just pop a meal out in between the clients. You eat it too quick because you don't need enough time between clients and all these things. But again, we still live in this environment. So I said, like a stricter coach, as Nathan said before, we need to be able to relate to the clients. We need to be able to understand the client's schedule and lifestyle. And we can't just go, well, you need to eat at 3 o'clock.
Mhm.
It's like I remember when I was doing my prep with Cooper, I was thinking no one could do this. No, like no normal person could do this because he was getting me to take photos after every meal and then and weigh myself after every meal.
Yeah, yeah,
Now it's
exactly.
like I'm very lucky that I could have Cooper as my coach who wanted all that information for a start, but also the fact that I could do it. Because like if I
Mhm.
worked in a school or I worked in a normal job where it's like you can't just get your kids off and take some photos and then step on the scale after an hour after the meal and just say how you felt. It's like it wouldn't be able to be done like that. So again, as coaches, we just need to make sure we relate to the situation that our client's in because every client can get results. Like there's no physiological reason, no matter what condition they have, no matter what the job is, that they actually can't get a result. We just need to figure out how to get that client a result.
Mhm. Yep, totally agree, mate. And I think that that is a big one that coaches need to understand that we live lives where we can kind of do whatever we want if we wanted to. And general population, who the majority of us coach, don't simply. So they're not going to be able to do what we can do. And we have to empathize with that and understand them clients are going to be not even harder clients, it's just going to be harder for you as a coach to relate to them, but you have to get used to relating to them. Otherwise, you'll not keep the clients for as long as you want to.
And as a softer coach, what you need to learn from that is, even though a client may have a 9 to 5 and whatnot, they still have to do what needs to be done to get a result. So they can't use their job or their lifestyle as an excuse. It can be a reason why they're struggling, but it can't be an excuse that just lets them get away with it. You can't let clients get away with it. So, for example, if someone wants to lose 10% body fat and they're 20% and they want to get to sub 10 for a male, that's hard work. That does mean that they're going to have to potentially do some cardio after work, or they might have to get up early and do some steps in the morning before they start the day job. Like these are sacrifices like they're going to have to accept if they want to achieve this goal. Otherwise, that goal just might not be possible for them. And then as a coach, you need to manage their expectations. So if they're not willing to do that, then they won't be able to achieve that. And that's okay. Sometimes you just need to go, look, for you to be able to achieve this, it's like you need to do this, and this. Most likely your food may get to this low calories. Your training may start to regress that you actually start to not enjoy training as much. Are you willing to do that for 16 weeks to 20 weeks? And the client goes, yes, that's like a mutual contract. You would both agree to it. If the client goes, actually, no, that sounds horrendous to me, then it's okay, cool. Let's potentially pull back the expectation of what we're going to look like or the amount of body fat we're willing to lose because we can't meet that expectation of what's needed.
Exactly. So that's kind of everything with the two coaching styles, should we say. So remember, like, it doesn't matter which more of one you are. Us coaches, we've always got stuff to work on, haven't we?
Hmm.
So the best thing you can do is understand what type of coach you are, so you know where you need to work on. That's the
Hmm.
best thing. Yeah. So if anyone's took offense, don't take offense. It's all good. Yeah, we all have flaws. We all need to work on some things, and it's all good. So yeah, if you're wanting more information about our next mentorship intake, which is starts next February, we'll can get you onto a priority list. We're still taking calls with people to actually discuss the details about it, and then we can maybe get a deposit down for you so you secure your place for the next one. Then that is absolutely fine. But apart from that, yeah,
Yeah, as I said, like if you want to be part of next A in education intake, we will talk all through this. We will give you the coaching application needed for you to be able to achieve the best results, no matter who it is who comes to your door as an inquiry. So if you are interested, Nathan just said then, send us a message on Instagram, comment below, on YouTube, or just drop us a message on Instagram as well. You can't really do anything on Spotify. So yeah, look, catch you in the next one, guys.